to my face so that I would talk to her.
How long did you stay in college for?
A year, 2.5.
How long did it take until you realized that you were going to drop out? Like, did you realize like 2 years in and then you tried another semester, or did you realize like a year in you were like, this isn't really going to be for me, but I'm going to try some more?
Well, I hated the first school I went to, so that's why I transferred. And then I did that. I had that second year was great.
Did you go to community college for the first year? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it sucked, and you were like, fuck this, I'm going to university.
Yeah, and like that second year was great. I had a great roommate. Most of my friends were there, and then that second semester, it just started going downhill, like mental health wise, and I was like not going to classes. I wasn't doing like any of my stuff, and then
could it have been like, the drinking?
No.
Okay.
I wish it would have been the fucking drinking. That would have been better than.
Much like most alcoholics, the drinking is simply a symptom of something else.
Oh yeah, of course, of something else. Generally, I mean. I didn't drop out of college, but I was like this close several times because I had to pay for it. And then I was like, I don't want to fucking do this. Yeah, this sucks. And like, I'm working a job anyways this whole time. Mm-hmm. And like, I could possibly be doing this and it gets me nothing. Mm-hmm. That's like that. I swear to God, no one explained to us as children that like college is straight up a gamble. Like you could go through that and then get your degree and then nothing comes of it.
Yeah, and the risk versus rewards thing is all over the place, depending on where you are, what you study, and all that kind of stuff.
Like, yeah, you did theater in Mississippi.
Theater, not a good gamble.
Yeah.
Not a good gamble. I don't think I was about to be the next Morgan Freeman or anything
What did you
like
think?
that.
What did you think realistically was going to happen, or did you just do that out of passion? You were like, if I'm going to be here and I'm going to do it, I'm going to do what I like.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was it?
That was it. I just thought if I go with the thing that I want to do and I like stick to it, that it would eventually work because I'm a 90s kid and I was raised on fucking Disney movies.
You were raised on optimism and like every kid can be the president. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were raised on that shit.
Yeah, they didn't mention geography or economics.
No. Not one bit.
Yeah. Apparently you need money to live and no one's willing to pay money to an actor in Mississippi. So, problems there.
Is there anywhere here where you can really be... Oh, welcome to the AnythingCast, by the way. I'm Patrick.
I'm Eric.
I'm Al.
Is there anywhere here where you can make a living as an actor doing anything?
It's not like there aren't acting jobs here. It's just that there's absolutely no real consistent ones that you could, like, get paid to do.
Could you go to, like, an agency?
I don't think that there is one that... I mean, I'm sure there is one that works out of here, but like they probably would be contracting you to go somewhere where they're actually filming shit or something.
I just got an idea. Why don't we take the podcast to an agency as a bit? As record it, wear cameras and like do a pitch meeting with like a Mississippi like agency. And like see what they're actually
very vulgar.
Yeah. We pick out like the most vulgar clips that we have of the show.
Jesus.
And we're like, we've got like some A grade material for you. Want to play for you?
We got 40K on that "fuck my dad" video.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what they would say at the end. They were like, now which one of you was it that said that you would fuck your dad in your mom's body? And then I would have to point at you, and he'd just stand up and shake your hand and be like, congratulations, you're hired. We're shipping you out to LA immediately. Mm-hmm. And then that has to happen, though. That's probably one of the most terrifying things of doing art with other people is that there is a real chance that, like, one of you could break out into something and like get famous as a musician or as an actor or as a model or something. Mm-hmm. And then you have to leave and you can't take anybody with you. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else just gets left in the dust. I feel like that happened with so many people.
Fuck them talentless bitches.
I mean, do you think NSYNC or do you think...
Yeah, immediately I think of like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were probably like doing something else. Like K-pop bands, like what the effect of what like K-pop bands are doing these days, and then like one of them gets picked out as like an ultra idol, basically, and then the rest of them just kind of like fall to the wayside. And NSYNC is just a combination of those ultra idols where they all put them all into one band.
I mean,
no.
Is that not how that happened?
No.
I don't really
There's
know.
still
And
like
also-
only like 2 of them that's like maybe that's talented.
Justin
the rest are just
Timberlake,
kinda
and
like,
then who's the other one?
JC.
JC. What does JC
Wait,
do?
is
It's not
that-
Joey Fatone.
I think JC still the talent singer wise anyway.
JC was the
Okay,
one
yeah,
that
no,
had
fair.
the fucking goatee, wasn't he? Wasn't he the ugly one that wore sunglasses and had a goatee?
I don't know. I just remember originally he sang almost as much as Justin did, and then it slowly became Justin and them being backup singers.
Why did Justin become so famous?
Because he was better than the other four.
Well, that and
I mean,
How did?
I'm sure like dating Britney Spears and all that.
Yeah.
that didn't hurt.
Was Justin? Were the Timberlakes like Timberlake is like? If I say Timberlake out loud, do you first think of Justin Timberlake or do you think of like the clothing stuff?
I think
Or
it's
is that-
Justin Timberlake.
Wait, no, that's Timberland.
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
was
That's
about to say, I
Timberland.
think we're
Are Timberlakes famous for anything else? Is there anything that like Timberlakes?
Did he have another relative that tried to do stuff?
not that I know.
No, yeah, I mean like Aaron Carter's his brother, isn't he? No,
No,
that's
no,
that's the
that's-
other guy.
That's the guy from Backstreet Boys.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
Nick's brother.
Did Nick ever go to do anything?
He did Backstreet
Yeah,
Boys tour
Backstreet
again
Boys.
not too long ago.
Did he?
That's
Aaron
right.
died in a fucking bathtub.
Mhm.
That
Aaron Carter died in a bathtub.
yeah, you didn't know that?
I feel
Aaron
like I've
Carter
heard that
died
before.
like 2 years ago during COVID. He did like a drug cocktail and then
Yeah.
drowned in his own bathtub.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
You,
Because
you
I
take
used
a
to
bunch
watch
of,
like all of his lives, and because I was just like, it was one of those things where you kind of like rooting for him,
yeah.
but it just
His life took like a nosedive.
yeah, like him and the girlfriend would be like arguing and fighting and stuff all the time on live.
I'm
and
pretty
they had
sure
that
he didn't
kid.
even beat Shaq at this point.
Probably did.
I'm pretty sure he made all of that up.
the fuck you mean he beat Shaq?
That was Aaron Carter's claim to fame that he beat
Beat Shaq
Shaq in
at what?
at
Basketball?
basketball.
At basketball?
At basketball.
You
he
don't
never
remember
claimed to
the
do it at
song or
basketball.
The video.
I feel like Aaron Carter beat Shaq in basketball like a 5-year-old boy beats his dad in basketball. He's like, yeah, sure, you
Well,
did it,
Shaq's
son.
canceled now,
yeah,
so it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
it's true.
Shaq got canceled?
Yeah, some he made some like inappropriate comments about one of the female basketball players that he was like a mentor, father figure to, and he like said something about how he fantasized about her doing something. or
My
another.
Lord,
And I was
Shaq.
like, maybe we shouldn't say
Shaq.
those kind of things.
Yeah.
Is Shaq like he's not up there with like the Tim Allen and the Bill Cosby and like the America's
Is Tim
dad.
Allen on the same level as Bill Cosby?
He is as like the like
Thought he
played
just-
a dad on a sitcom.
like
yeah,
okay.
nobody like no nobody like
Crimes
I
that
know
he
he says
committed.
like some
Yes.
conservative shit. He's probably said some shit that was insensitive about transsexuals once or twice, but like
Tim
you know,
Allen got arrested for cocaine possession and Bill Cosby is a rapist.
yeah,
they are
not the same thing.
They both played dads on television. They're one of them
I
is
think liking fun powder and liking
Tim
what Bill Cosby
Allen
liked
is
are
the
two
white
different
Bill
things.
Cosby is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, maybe like you could have made that comparison 10 or 12 years ago.
All right,
but,
fine,
like,
Eric.
now
Who's the
I
white
wouldn't-
Bill Cosby? You get to choose. You're on
Epstein?
the stand. Epstein? Did Epstein
I mean, he's
play
very
a-
obviously Jewish, but let's be honest.
He played
American
a TV
Jews
dad
like
as well.
Did he really?
Mhm.
Oh my
Epstein
God.
never played a TV
Pokemon.
dad, did he?
He was Ash's dad.
Is that wait? Please tell me.
Jeffrey Epstein
Please tell me that's real.
Played
It
Ash's
is not
dad.
real.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that.
I
Oh,
know
let's
that.
say, Ash's dad isn't even a character on
No, he
Pokemon.
is. He is in like the stage play or something though,
The
which is
stage
what I
play
thought.
of Pokemon.
Yeah, have you never heard about this? There was a stage play of Pokemon that was so bad that like it made children uncomfortable and they only did it for like a year or
Imagine a bunch of
something.
adults coming out in like Pikachu costumes. Now I'm just imagining that porn parody with that chick in the Pikachu costume with the yellow paint. Please
It's
put up the
just-
chick from the Pokemon porn
Patrick,
parody.
just go ahead and
editor,
play
Patrick.
that whole porn parody.
Strokemon!
Trained to be the very best. I've touched so many balls.
What's happening?
Dika,
What the fuckymon is that?
It looks like it could cause more damage than an episode of Dr. Oz.
Squirt hole. Allow us to stroke-a-deuce ourselves.
I didn't think you were ever going to show up.
I'm on stroke of people time.
SBT.
Dika, 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 Pikachu, Pikachu.
What did she say?
Oh, that I just have like a really big dick.
Just
shut up and whip out your strokey balls.
Don't be a bunch of pussies.
You ready to ruin these guys like they're Brian Williams' career Pikachu?
Pikachu.
She said she's gonna show them who's the boss like she was the yellow Tony Danza.
Now turn your head and cough.
I'm pretty sure you could find the parts that they're not having sex on YouTube and just play those.
Yeah, the same Bible Black kind of shit.
Absolutely crazy shit there. Yeah, it's like Ash, Misty. No, it's Gash, Fisty,
and Cock. It's got to be Cock. It's got to be Ash, Fisty, and Cock.
Oh yeah, Cock might be Brock's name.
Exactly. Exactly.
It didn't even run for a whole year.
Did the stage
It was
play?
like 4 months.
Yeah, see, it was so bad.
They tried to do like a Broadway or off-Broadway
like a
play.
Musical.
It was a musical, and Giovanni is like Ash's dad in it. So I thought he was like trying to say that like, oh, you know, he played Giovanni in the Pokemon musical.
Yes, Jeffrey Epstein
yeah,
was in the
I'm
Pokemon
just
musical.
saying. All right, I'm just saying.
Giovanni.
He was a rich man. He could do whatever
A
he
rich
wanted.
man who took advantage of lesser privileged creatures and used his money to run a criminal organization. That's
Eric,
not believable.
If I told you, Eric, Jeffrey Epstein was in a play that was targeted to minors, and he played the bad guy in that play where he was one of the minors' dad, is that really that hard to believe? Is it really?
I mean, I'm not sure that he was ever involved in show business at all, other than like funding it. So I really don't know.
It was really like the fucking show sucked. The Pokemon show, it sucked because they would like go out in the middle of like the show. There's recordings of it on YouTube. We should watch it at some point. It's so bad that's so charming. But like they would go out into the audience and like talk to little kids like during the intermissions and stuff and be like, is your mom, is she more of a Kangaskhan or a Krabby?
She's a big old Snorlax.
No, it wasn't kids say the darndest things.
I'm gonna fuck that Snorlax.
We're back to.
I was gonna make a real big deal about it later in my life.
Wait, are you implying that the child fucks his own mother? His fat, sleeping mother.
What autistic Pokemon-loving child in the late 90s
Patrick, put
would
up
call
the
his
picture.
mother a Snorlax and then fuck her later? Who would do that?
Put up the picture of
Patrick.
Chris Chan. Go ahead, put him up.
What is this slander you're talking about?
Chris Chan would never do such a thing.
No,
you know, it came out that he
he's a
didn't really
sweet
do
little
that. He was just
child.
lying.
I mean,
he didn't rape his mother.
There's no telling what he is or isn't doing.
No, there's no actual evidence. It was just that Chris wanted people to believe he was not a virgin so bad.
You could make him say anything on the fucking internet. That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was just taken advantage of by like other people. You know who Chris Chan is, don't you?
What? Chris Chan being taken advantage of by people on the internet.
Exactly.
Exploiting someone with mental problems. That's unheard
But he
of.
was like, yeah, me and Barb, you know, we have sex or whatever. And he like described it in detail and like he got arrested because of it and stuff. But like they looked into it and there was nothing. There's no proof that he ever did anything like that.
Those poor investigators just scrolling over those mountains.
Have you not seen the video that came out last month?
Why that lie?
I saw
because he wants people to believe that he's cooler than he is, but he doesn't know what being cool is.
And he's super autistic and he responds to literally everything trolls say to him online.
Yes.
So then because they're trolls and they feed off of the garbage, they want him to keep making stuff. So they keep saying increasingly offensive and crazy shit to him to get him to respond to it until eventually you have a bunch of psychopaths constantly prodding an autistic man to say that he fucked his own mother.
Yeah. Eventually,
That's
it just
what
became
the reality of the
became the way
situation is.
out. That was the way he saw it as the way out. Like,
because if I say these things, they'll
go away.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the video of him getting arrested?
Yes.
Yeah. There's full footage of them like going to his like Holiday Inn hotel room where he's like staying in a motel, and they like go and arrest him, and they ask him if there's anybody else in the room, and he says like, "Oh, not anybody that you can see.
Not on this plane.
Not on this plane of existence. But my husband and wife are standing in the corner of the room there. They do, and if you feel a slight thump on your leg, that is my husband soulmate." And then the cop's like, I don't feel anything.
The cops were completely flabbergasted.
They were.
They had no idea who Chris Chen was. They walked into that blindfolded.
Because there's like
no
people
idea.
following Chris during this whole thing, and
there's people shouting out from the balconies. Being like,
yeah, from like a gas station, like half a mile away. There's like people filming him, and the cops are just sitting there like watching,
they're completely
what the fuck is going on?
bamboozled. They're half alarmed. They don't know why people are like shouting at them.
Is it like that every time they arrest a
this?
famous person? You think?
Well, not when they know the person's famous first.
Yeah, I know, but
they didn't think that this autistic weird person.
He tells them too. He tells them at the beginning of the video. He's
but
like,
they didn't think it was true.
I'm sort of famous on that there on the internet there, on the YouTube, and then they're like, oh yeah, they probably thought they were like it was like me. They probably thought they were talking to some guy who is like me, who's like, yeah, I have 3,000 subscribers on the internet or something.
He blogs about Pokemon.
Yeah,
look at his Pokeball collection over here. Like, this isn't something
he got
we
raped
actually
by
need to
Jeffrey
worry
Epstein when he was playing Giovanni in the Pokemon play, and he's not been the same since.
Patrick, we're not supposed to talk about my personal history.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll move on. Patrick, just cut that out. That's fine.
Thank you.
But yes. Chris Chan, the best part of that is the car ride back with the officer to like the police station where he's got Chris in the back of the car, and Chris is trying to explain to him like the universal merge that's going to happen and how this cop is going to get to meet Spider-Man.
Batman, or let me ask you, who is your favorite superhero?
I'd probably go with Spider-Man.
He's going to come around. You're going to meet him.
All right, I can't wait.
I mean, if you're ever in New York, he's going to be swinging around there.
Why New York? Why only New York? Why can't he go wherever he wants?
Well, I mean, yeah, he can't go because he's a Spider-Man. He does whatever a spider can.
And the cop is just
it's like he's actually trying to like relate it to the cop.
Is. He's trying to have like the best like conversation he can. You, as a police officer, you must feel so bad arresting someone that obviously mentally deranged.
Yeah, he's just deluded. He's sick, for God's sake. Like, he's not. People keep treating him like a fucking plaything, and it's atrocious. I don't know what to think.
He was a plaything for like the first 2 years of this.
Yeah, like, now it's just like criminal abuse.
Yes, now it is actual like targeted harassment.
Yeah,
yeah. It's it might possibly be the #1 case in U.S. history of targeted harassment.
Like, I'm
like
totally
consistent over a long period of time.
I'm totally cool with like, trans shit or whatever. I don't the whole spectrum of like, sexuality and the LGBT stuff. That's never bothered me. I don't
but
care
autistic
what
people.
No. The point I'm trying to make with that is like,
Al just started nodding his head.
Like, because Chris identifies as Christina, as a woman, and it's just like
Christine, not Christina.
Yeah,
just Christine.
Like, and in this one very specific case, I'm like, Chris is more likely than not in any way, shape, form, or fashion trans. He has just been bullied into like
trying to create like an alternative human being.
They just want him to do anything that they think is dumb and humiliating, and then will constly force him to do it.
I think it was like an out. I think it was a real out.
Wouldn't it be great if we could trick this mentally ill person into like, transitioning?
Adopting another
That's
like
the
personality?
Best thing ever. Like, yeah, like...
From Chris's perspective, it has to be like, if I change who I am, I'm not Chris anymore, and then therefore I don't have to be Chris, who is constantly harassed. Yeah. If I do this, I become Christine, and then Christine is like a whole new like lease on life.
At best, it's a response to trauma. At worst, it's like the active manipulation of the harassers and the bullies.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Chris was healthy and then like maybe later on was like, you know what, like, because he was very anti-gay as like a kid. He did that thing that like a lot of
super old and super Christian.
Well, he does that thing that a lot of like gay guys do, where they'll like be super anti-gay, outspoken, like all queers are going to hell. He like queer people should die. He had like a lot of like. Literally on his like love poster, it said he wanted everybody but queers and blacks. That was like on his poster,
right?
Like he was not like the type of guy who
never
would be
understood
like,
that.
"Oh
why,
yeah,
why
yeah."
limit your dating pool based on race? Women are great, or men.
Yeah, well, I
You know,
mean,
it's if you identify with them on a personal level and find them attractive, and,
gay people
why-
specifically, I don't know why Chris went. It had to have been like his dad's influence, but like at the same time, I'm just saying he does that thing. He did that thing that a lot of like gay guys do, where they'll be super anti-gay people because they themselves are gay, and then by rejecting that so harshly, they can like hide themselves better. I would not be surprised if Chris was actually gay. I'd be surprised if Chris could come to that conclusion by himself. Like,
it's possible that he could be gay. I just don't think that he would have been trans without all of the internet.
That's
shit.
what I'm saying. Like, if he became
Like-
gay, and then if he admitted he was gay, he was probably, if he was all of a sudden gay and said he was gay the whole time, but he was sorry that apologized to the gay community. And as a matter of fact, he's not only gay, he is also trans. If his life had taken a trajectory where he was not constantly harassed, and that was like the trajectory he took, I wouldn't have been surprised, because he was raised in that like shitty environment.
If there's a world where he's still somehow well known, but not harassed and bullied over the last decade and a half, then yeah, I could see a world where like maybe he definitely has,
It could have been that way, dude. There is a
stuff.
universe out there where Chris is famous because his comic books are charming.
I mean, there's a universe out there where Chris is a 7-foot tall black man. I mean,
That's the universe I want to live in, right
he's
there.
great
I
at-
want Chris Chan to be a 7-foot tall
he's
black
a 7-foot
man.
tall black man, and he is a absolute all-star at chess.
Yes.
How do you think he would get out of this situation?
How would he get out of this
Being
situation?
black and 7 feet tall. How do you get out of being black and 7
That
feet
one
tall?
too.
I mean,
like,
I don't know. That's
like
not
just-
really a big handicap. I mean, you still gonna have to deal with racism
Like,
and the
delete
like,
his
but God gave you a
socials or-
couple.
Yeah, like
of
you mean like
buffs
how in real life
Yeah.
does Chris get out of like
where he is right now?
Yeah.
because he's done
He
it
needs
before.
to dive out. Like he needs
He's
to
done
dip.
it. He's done it. He is
Stop posting online, and delete all your socials. Start over, and don't interact with strangers online anymore. Get some real life friends, and
he can't. He tried.
I was
He
gonna say, but
really
what
tried.
keeps the trolls from not just coming back and finding them and repeating the whole
They
pattern?
did. Every
They
time he
do.
deleted his social, they'll find him like in the mall because they know he
Yeah.
knows where they told them where he lives.
yeah, because he will. He's so prone to suggestion. All you gotta do is like ask him under the right circumstances, and you can get him to reveal everything.
Yeah, you ask him like why he doesn't go out and find friends at the mall, and he'll be like, "Well, the Ruckersville Mall isn't known for having that many people that agree with my like sensibilities." And then he lives near the Ruckersville Mall, and he goes to it.
Honestly, here's the only thing I can think of that's realistic to actually getting him to like stay away from bullies and harassers. He would need like a team like us of like people around our age, like 3 or 4 people about like us that were his handlers that
Oh,
like
God.
shifted out watching him.
He
and,
is
like,
famous
making
enough to
sure-
where he probably does need like a PR manager.
If somebody managed his PR correctly, he could make enough money to live off of easily.
That was what that one guy tried to do, where he was like, yeah, just make medallion, like the guy who he told that he raped his mother. That was what his plan was, I think, was like, I'm going to just like PR manage Chris and tell him to make Sonichu medallions. And then we're going to sell the medallions. And he's famous enough already where he can live off of making these medallions and selling them to people for like $100, $150 a pop.
Yeah.
And then
I'd buy one.
and
Shit.
then like printing the Sonichu comic and then just selling that to people. Because like who, and I say this knowing that full well there are plenty of people that wouldn't, but who would not want to own a physical copy of a Sonichu comic?
It would be something very interesting if you were into online culture. You could
about to
like
say, I don't know
frame
what that
that
is.
shit.
Exactly. The thing that Chris Chan makes, the Sonichu like Pokemon Sonic mix
It's
thing.
Sonic and Pikachu as one thing. He created it when he was younger, like 15, 16 or so.
No, way younger than that. He was like 11.
He's been drawing this shit for years. It looks like crayon drawings of a child. And I mean, I guess it basically is. It always has been.
Yes.
He's not
it
even.
still is. He's still making it.
I mean, it looks crude, but again, the kid's got a little talent. I say kid, he's like 5 years older than me.
I know.
Like 40.
He's 42, I think.
Yeah, okay, so he's 7 years older than
Yeah.
me. But like,
I'm looking that up. How old is Chris Chan?
if you were to just let him draw his dumb comics and
Yeah,
stuff,
he's
that would be
42.
that'd be a great creative outlet for him. It exercises the brain, gives him an activity to do. Like, honestly, yeah, him just making the comic and producing that feels like that's good for him.
Is this legal?
Is what, Sonichu?
Yeah.
Okay, you looked
That
it up, and
is-
it probably brought you straight to the worst images from it. So
As like,
I don't
is
know.
Sonichu legal? Is like the
with like
Oh, you
Pokemon
mean
and,
copyright?
Like, yeah, copyright. Yeah.
That's been a
okay.
big deal in Chris's life. Like for his entire life, people have like told him to make the comic book a thing that he could sell, and he is afraid that like that Sega and Nintendo will come down on him, like with a hammer, and they won't. Do you have any idea how bad PR it is for a gaming company who's, let's be honest, most of their own like people who buy their products are autistic people like Chris? Like, do you have any idea how bad PR that is to come down on a guy like that?
Took down every single autistic mod for like what was it? Gary's mod. They took all of the Nintendo related stuff out of that.
Did they
stripped it
really?
out not too long ago.
That's
It was
like
I
fucked.
thought Nintendo just did something recently.
Yeah, Nintendo is kind of the worst one of all the gaming companies out there. Nintendo is the least loosey-goosey about letting people use their license without paying.
I know
directly.
that they're big on that,
They
but
are
like
not okay with you even referencing.
Oh wait, with the Pal World, that's what it was.
Yeah, Pal World.
Pal
they,
World.
They attacked and I think killed Pal World.
Oh, dude, he does
Which
have an Etsy
is
store. I'm just
unfortunate.
looking it up. He does have an Etsy store where he sells the webcomic.
Well, there you go.
There we go. Oh my God, dude, they're $30 of an issue.
An issue? How many
Yeah.
issues are there?
There's a volume.
Okay.
There's 4, I think. There's 4 volumes altogether. We should buy one just to have one.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason.
We could showcase it during one of our live episodes.
The official Chris Chan Sanchu medallion first run, he priced them for $25 in 2020 and they sold out immediately. I mean, like, that should just be like, Chris should see that and be like, I know he's retarded, but like, he's like actually retarded, but
Yeah,
like Chris
I
should
mean-
see that and be like, that's dollar signs.
Yeah.
I could sell them for 30 times that and people would still buy it.
Well, he also has a childlike demeanor, so he probably doesn't have the best work
business sense.
ethic
No.
and like business sense. So he'll probably create a few, have fun, get bored, and then not want to do it
He
again.
kind of does do that, doesn't he? He gets like, he'll make something that like would make.
Again, he's not mentally there enough to like. I don't know why people are so harshly judging him all the time.
Because he
It's just
does
like,
have enough fat. That's the
he's
thing.
almost there.
He's almost there. That is it. He rides the line between being like a normal human being and being like severely autistic because he's not like clicks, screams, and yelps autistic. He's not like twist his head and click his hands autistic.
He
He's
can
like
speak in full sentences.
Yes.
He can walk around. He's very functional for the most part.
he's like what would you say Chris Chan is as far as like age wise goes? Like he's like 15 years younger and mentally than he should be at any given time.
I honestly think he kind of caps out at like a 13 or 14-year-old mentally.
Yeah,
I
he's
feel
just
like
that level of autistic.
He's never really going to get a whole lot better than that. Like, so that's why he's so fucking, easy to manipulate.
Here's the question.
He's like a young
should
teenager.
Chris be in a
you know?
mental institution?
I think he should have handlers.
So you think that like the government should supply Chris with like mental like handlers who like there's one with him like all the time? At least one. They got like a rotating staff of 5.
I mean, the bro is like a shining beacon in the dark for, fucking internet sociopaths to want to bully.
He really is.
Like-
Even Al's done it a few times.
I have not.
I don't know. Like, someone
Patrick,
has to
cut that out and make him say, I have. Even Al's done it a few times.
I have.
There we go.
Mhm.
See? Done. Fuck you, Al.
So, I mean, like, I don't know. Someone has to save the poor guy. Like, he's a victim here. Like,
That's the question, though, isn't it? Like, some people see him as a victim and some people see him as, like, his own worst enemy. He's
definitely his own worst enemy.
He's not the victim if he is the one putting himself in these situations.
But he's like a child. Why are we letting him put himself in these positions in the first place? He should have a guardian.
He does. She's a 90-year-old woman.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
She should have a guardian.
What happens to him after she dies?
He'll be appointed a state guardian, I would hope.
Will he have to live in like a halfway house type thing?
I guess something like that. Somebody has to take care of
Al,
him.
you're retarded. What happened to you when your mom died?
Fucking Christ.
I went to a halfway house.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good.
no,
Just making sure.
No, Patrick, he's black, not retarded. That's,
okay. I'm sorry. I
That's
get
a
those two.
different thing.
I get those two. They're both like socially like on the same level for me.
See,
so,
like one's like a physical, actual disability that's affecting the brain. One feels like a disability sometimes because of how you get treated. But
you really should have
not actually stopping.
You could have taken that such a worse way. You could have been like, one of them is a physical disability, like affecting the brain, and one of them is autism. Like, I was really, really expecting you to do that. It's not the right thing to do, but it is funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I guess you could argue that.
It's the Roger Rabbit rule. Are you familiar with Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Okay, there's a scene in Roger Rabbit where they're chained together, like handcuffed together.
Right.
And they go into a room and the guy finds a hacksaw and he starts hacking through the chain between them. And then Roger, being a cartoon, slips out of it and then comes over and his head comes in from off screen. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "You're telling me you could have done that the whole time?" And he says, "No, only when it's funny." So see? That's the rule you need to work by, Eric. You can say the worst things imaginable,
but only if
when
it's funny.
Only when it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I actually do believe that about comedy. Like, if you say something...
I know, you're a Nazi.
About black people.
You could say something absolutely horrifyingly bad as long as it's just funny.
As long as you don't mean it. I mean,
like, I don't want you to slaughter a fucking, orphanage or something, but like, there was a joke in Family Guy, I remember, like first season, where they were just like, here, like they were talking about like a plane that got landed safely after being like, breaking or something in the sky. And it was like, here's what would have looked like if the plane crashed, and like crashed into like a valley. And then I was just like, here's what the plane would have looked like if it crashed into an orphanage. And then like a plane crashed into an orphanage.
A bunch of kids like come out.
They were screaming and on fire.
Yeah.
And they said, here's what happened if it crashed full of an orphanage for baby rabbits.
Yes.
And then the same thing. They were all baby rabbits screaming.
Honestly, you could have cut that last bit though.
Yeah, it kept going on. There were like 5 examples of the plane crashing in a different scenario. But like, no, a plane crashing into an orphanage isn't funny. But that was.
Well, what would you have done on 9/11, Eric, if you had been on the plane?
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't ask you, Al.
Logically
I'll ask you
speaking.
second, all right? I know your fucking answer is okay.
After I...
You would have sat... Let's be real. You would have sat in the chair and cried because my ass would have done the same. Yeah, just
put my headphones in and called it a day.
Yeah, put your headphones in, turn on the in-flight movie Shrek, and just let it ride.
After I heroically beat and raped...
It's just Al flying into the World Trade Centers while listening to headphones. Just, hey, now you're an all-star. Get your game on.
Jesus Christ!
Patrick edited an explosion there.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean,
but to answer your question though, after I heroically beat up and raped both of the terrorists, or all 3 of them,
you wouldn't want to rape them. They're dirty people.
Oh,
they are from the Middle East, so you wouldn't want to do that.
I make no exceptions.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's an ethical thing.
Is that like part of your
like standards,
your Punisher-esque persona?
It's like my creed kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go.
What could that creed possibly be? Like creed implies you have it in like writing, or you have like a thing
passed
that
down from generation to generation.
You say it all the time
for years and years.
Imagine if that was the Punisher's thing. It's just
he's got to punish them.
Yeah.
They gotta feel justice.
Yes,
justice being, of course, what he calls his penis.
Of course.
But yes, no, and then as I'm dripping with blood and cum, I would go up to the pilot seat and then realize that they killed the pilots, and then we would crash into the World Trade Center because I wouldn't have any way to really fix that. I don't know how to work this. There's like 200 buttons on here.
Was there a single one of those
that
which
one turns off the autopilot?
Was there a single one of those where they like there was like a thing that landed in a field, right?
Yeah,
like,
one of them they did
they
exactly what
crash
I
it
just
in
said.
the field?
And yeah, they just pushed the thing down. They were just like, or maybe the guy pushed it down when they were trying to kill him. I don't know.
Okay.
But they mad mugged the thing, and then the plane went down.
Oh,
So.
okay. So I thought I couldn't remember if they like.
They
So
rushed
no one landed that day. Not a single one of those
Well,
planes.
they all
like,
landed. Just none of them landed on
none of them landed successfully. Yes,
with
yes.
landing gear down. No, they all hit the ground.
Did you see the thing about like? By the way, did you see the thing about Sally?
And you could argue it was a little delayed for the ones in the towers. They hit
Eric,
the towers
let's
and
see
then
if
hit
you
the
can do
ground
this.
a couple hours later.
Eric, let's see if you can do this again. What was the name of the guy who landed the plane in the Hudson
Sully
River?
Sullenberger.
Yeah.
It
How
really
did
was
you
his
get?
name.
How did you get that right? How did you know that? Why was that up here for some reason?
Because
I thought you were joking.
Because it was a joke on an American Dad episode.
That makes a lot more sense.
Where they invited him to like a special dinner or something because he was a hero, and he like backflipped in for some reason. They like really played it up.
There was like that American Dad thing where there was a treasure of like some soldier guy who went and talked to Congress and like told him the truth or
Ollie
something. Ollie North.
Yes, that was a real story.
Yeah, I know.
Treasure.
I know that Ollie North is a real story because after I told my dad that I had seen that, my dad went on a tirade about how Ollie North was like one of the best Americans ever. And I couldn't tell if...
Yeah, he sold guns and drugs in South America.
Is that what he did?
More or less.
Okay. Because
the Iran-Contra thing where basically... we funneled guns, money, and drugs between the South Americans.
But he was
Iran.
ordered to do it. Was like the whole deal, right?
Yeah.
Like he went before
and he took
Congress.
the fall for Reagan, basically,
Okay.
and the rest of like the military.
That's
brass.
why my father thinks he's like the coolest dude in the world.
Yeah,
then.
absolutely.
Okay.
That's not surprising at all.
Yeah, I
Uber
know, right?
conservatives all love Ollie North, and even though he's definitely a criminal, he I think got off on like basically no real charges because
what is the thing?
Rich, powerful people don't actually get charged.
Oh,
with
absolutely
crimes.
not.
And he was a spokesperson on Fox News for a while.
Good for him. What
I
was
mean, yeah, for him, sure.
What was the
Didn't work out for a lot of Iranians in South America.
What was the name of
he seems to have gotten away pretty good.
Like what was the name of the thing that Will always says that my dad has? That he has like a complex. It has something to do with him being white and being like, white savior. My dad, yeah. Will always says my dad has like a real, like he's like a real life like white savior complex.
I could see it.
You've met my father.
Yeah, he's very conservative.
And he's a Marine, and he's like
he doesn't really hate other cultures. He just believes that we have the perfect one, and we can help everybody else with ours.
Yes, of course.
It's kind of the one of the least offensive styles of racism, basically.
Yeah, I mean
It's
yours is way worse. Let's be honest.
They're more like misguided, but they still kind of want to do a good thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, they still think less of us, but he a little confused, but he's kind of on the right path.
A lot of people
like,
who
he's
say
getting
like
there.
Daenerys was like that.
Daenerys? Oh, Targaryen. Okay.
Yeah,
I guess.
Like
was Daenerys Targaryen a Republican? Is that what? Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Was she an allegory for Hillary Clinton? Like in the show, was that what they were going for?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Never watched Game of
I
Thrones.
just know that a lot of people threw around white savior whenever she was like on screen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, her whole thing was that she saved brown people from like being crucified or like whatever. She just went to
she just like was a slave and then went around freeing slaves.
She was the husband. She was the husband.
Mm-hmm.
She was the wife of the
mountain.
leader of like the strongest army in the Middle East, basically in that setting.
Yeah.
And then he died, and then she took his place.
To be fair, that guy was like Scandinavian, but whatever.
Yeah,
he's like the whitest kind of white.
He was like
get.
They put makeup on him. They did put brown face on him, didn't they?
We tanned
Jason
pretty
Khal
well.
Drogo. Yeah, Jason
He's
Momoa.
like Hawaiian or something.
I know, but like they browned him up for the Game of Thrones show, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because they put a shitload of makeup on him. I know that
No,
much.
I was talking about the mountain.
Oh, the mountain? What about him?
Yeah, he's like Scandinavian.
Oh yeah, of course he is. He's like
well.
he looks like you if we like filled you with testosterone and made you into a space marine.
Yeah, give me like a foot and like 3 extra testicles, and yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean me and Al between the two of us, I think we can work that out.
I don't
Giving
have
you
any, so you.
Al's got 1 testicle. I've got 2, and then I think between the 2 of us, we got a foot at least. So we can work that out.
And just stack all of our dicks on top of each
I
other.
gave
and
mine
just-
up for youth.
You gave one of your testicles up for youth?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Damn.
you meant to the youth, like
No.
at a hospital.
Bro's
like,
like, no.
you're like, yes, I gave one of my testicles to small children.
No.
The testicle orphanage, they call it.
Think less organ transplant and more Odin sacrificing his eye for knowledge. He sacrificed a testicle for eternal youth.
Can they do that? Can they
It's good on you. You look very fresh.
If you're castrated, can they give you testicles?
Like, can they
Like
put new
carry
ones
'em
in on
home?
you?
Yeah, like, can they like
I
graft
guess.
balls back onto
I
you?
really don't know what the limitations are to that.
If
I know if they cut your dick off, they can reattach it.
That's a question for Will.
That is really
I
a
don't
question
know
for
'cause
Will.
testicles are a little different, but I assume depending on how fresh the injury is.
Well, Will's is
they
pretty
could.
fresh, but I don't know if like. I mean, I don't know if Al's is gonna really make it over there in time, but we haven't talked about why Will isn't on this episode. Will's in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a well, I mean, we call it an accident, but it was really more of a mental breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
He
He bit off his own testicles.
he did. It was. I've never seen.
Which I'm just pissed off at because I can't even reach the tip of my dick, and he goes all the way past.
all the way
shaft
past it, puts
and
them
bites
in his mouth.
What a waste of flexibility.
He can do it with extra ribs in.
Yeah, like he just
He had
crunches them
extra
up like a
ribs.
fucking
Are you
slinky.
saying he had extra ribs like
Yeah, he's
inserted?
got 4 extra ribs.
He did
that
the
was just born with.
anti-Marilyn
He didn't
Manson?
insert them.
He's
He was
literally-
born with them.
He's
born
literally
with
doing
them.
this on hard mode. And he goes right past it to chop his own nuts off with his teeth. And I'm just a little bit like mad.
Is he going to be mad
Like-
when he finds out that one of the testicles that we tried to send him was black to like have regrafted on him?
Nah.
I mean, there's usually a couple of African American testicles sitting around this room at any given time. So just
You put it in the
you
sack
know.
and he won't.
That's
won't
true.
notice.
Yeah, he's not gonna
gonna
see
he's
it.
not going to notice. Is that what
You
happened to
know.
Michael Jackson? Maybe is that why he had white kids? Get cut off his.
Someone
He
cut off
got
his testicles.
white
Yeah, he
testicles
got
put
white
in.
testicles like implanted, and then
I
like
could
he
see
had.
You know, that almost makes sense as a conspiracy theory. Because I'm white ass kids. That's a little confusing.
Have you seen that lady
Like,
on
that's
YouTube?
not how genetics works. Like, I've seen what young Michael Jackson looked like before stuff happened to him. Like, he was a very normal looking black child. I mean,
Well, there's no such thing as a normal looking black child, but I understand what you're trying to say.
like he was super normal looking for all intents and purposes. Like, I don't know.
Have you seen that lady on YouTube who is still to this day uploading, like still consistently every day uploading like Michael Jackson is still alive, like YouTube videos? What the fuck did you text me, Al?
I sent you the
Oh, the
thing.
Pokemon play. Okay.
Because I was like, it's very scary.
It's very good.
It's just like the costumes are so big.
I know, yeah.
Like,
Like
you
how
got
do you
puppets, you
play? How do you
couldn't
play
have got
Venusaur in
anything,
that,
like-
Patrick? Patrick, put it up on screen. How do you like do any of that? It has to be just like the puppets are like 4 people in a puppet, and you know they gave them so much money to do this. It was the
No.
Pokemon company.
They probably went bankrupt.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Strokemon. That's what you need to look up for the pictures of
Oh,
the thing
okay.
that I was at.
Good, Patrick. Put up pictures of Strokemon.
Apparently the hub's open now.
Good.
You can just
finally.
go to it now. I mean, there you go. Hold on.
Play the
Let me
audio
skip-
for Strokemon into
Let me
the
skip
microphone,
the-
and then Patrick can
Skip the thing there. Hold
sync
on.
it up.
They're trying to get them votes. They open back up the hub.
Yes.
Let's skip forward a little bit. Yeah. Oh, Pikachu. That's what they call her. Oh my God, that costume. That's
Into the microphone.
that is a costume.
Slightly Asianless magical talking creature focused on Fury robot featured in. Suddenly, our hero spots something.
I'm enjoying this.
What the Pokemon is that?
All right. That's good shit. I like that. Do you
What
think
the
we're gonna,
Pokemon is that?
are we gonna get copyright for that? You think?
I don't know. I don't know where it stands. I saw someone on YouTube play some bits from it the other day, where they were talking about
What
live
kind of
action
shit are
porn
you
parodies.
watching on YouTube?
I don't know,
I'm
but
not
it
sure I would
polluted the
admit to
shit out
that.
of my fucking algorithm. I
yeah,
can
that's
tell
not
you that right now.
That's not really stuff you should just be like admitting to.
I'm just like,
on the
God
record.
damn it! I hate it when fucking thirst content gets like shoved into my YouTube thing.
Would that be considered thirst content? That's hardly porn. Like, can you jack
it
off?
goes on to be more porn later. Everyone starts fucking and sucking each other, obviously.
There's no way people can jack off to that without laughing. Like,
you can't jack off and laugh at the same time.
I've never done it. I cannot do the thing where I watch funny porn. Like, Meat Canyon always says, like, by the time he's done jacking off to porn, he's always laughing. And I'm like, I don't understand that at all. By the time I'm done jacking off to porn, I always feel disgusted with myself.
Yeah,
and
you're
feel
usually crying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like in a ball, and like I should probably like just go. Like I've got a loaded gun in my mouth, and the only thing that stops me is the grace of God every time.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last time you were here, and thank you for playing the part of the grace of God. That was very kind of you.
Yeah, I had to wrestle that gun out of his hand. He was determined.
There's a few bullet holes in the wall right over there. You see them?
Yeah. The good thing is he had lotion on his hands, so it was a little slippery, easier to get off there, and other fluids. But as much as I didn't want those on my hands,
there was
I'm not going to start figuring out how to edit these episodes. Let's just say
exactly. There was a
man.
scare last week that my father might have hepatitis.
Hepatitis.
Yes. Speaking of fluids and like, do you know that means that like...
Okay, so hepatitis, I know one of them, I think the third one, C, I think that one can be transferred through any bodily fluid.
Yeah, that was the one that they thought he had.
Right, yeah. That's what he kept telling all y'all.
Yeah.
Turns out there's no way I could have gotten the other one.
Nope, not at all. He was a Marine at Camp Lejeune. Yeah, Camp Canaveral. Yes, he was a Marine at Camp Canaveral, and the water was tainted with two things:
taint
and hepatitis C, I guess.
It was always a sweaty Marine,
yes.
Washing his taint and letting the runoff go into the drinking water.
That's probably a real issue, though. Like, let's be real. Like on Marine camps,
literally
probably
tainted water.
Yeah, actual like some guy just drinking water that some other guy just took a shower in, which is basically Al's like fantasy. But I mean, for most people, it's not. For most people, that's a pretty bad time.
Yeah.
Al, have you ever had a hookup where a guy wanted to take a shower with you?
Yeah.
How did that go?
I didn't do it.
I didn't think so.
You've never had sex in a shower?
No.
It's not bad.
It is. It's awful.
You guys suck at having sex in showers, it sounds like. I mean,
like the lube would get all dried up, and
you do have to be careful about your angles. You need a big ass shower too.
Yeah,
yes.
you
need a really big shower. The only time I was ever able to do it well was when it was like
one of those bathtub
it was in
showers.
A dorm room, and it was a single gigantic bathroom for like the four of us, because there was like two separate rooms and then a shared kitchen bathroom area in between. And the tub and shower for that thing was huge. It was nice.
Okay.
So you wanted y'all to shower together.
Yeah, that was what they were trying to do.
There were cameras in there.
I can't say too much about the thing itself without revealing where it actually went, but
that's what became Strokemon.
One person put it to me this way. He said that particular college, he said they should just start off the year by going out into like one of the tennis fields or something, putting a giant like plastic mat over the whole thing, squirting it down with lube, and being like, all right, guys, get it out of your system.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
for real.
like, just send everyone out there to start fucking and sucking each other so that they can go do schoolwork afterwards.
College would have probably been more fun if that was happening.
Yeah, honestly, that...
Did you have a lot of sex in college?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't start having sex at all till college, so...
That'd be funny if it didn't apply to both of you. But still.
Yeah, no, I had sex with 1, 2 people, like, very briefly.
You've had sex with like 4 people in your entire life, haven't you?
Let me think. There's the first one.
Oh, come on. If it's 4 people, it's not that hard.
The third one, the fourth one, and I guess just 5.
See? Okay.
Yeah, 5 people.
You're doing all right. How many of them were men?
9. None that I was aware of.
I was expecting you to be like, well, there was the first one and then the third one, and then you start counting again.
I mean, possible. I'd say 3.
What do you mean possible? I don't
know what they were all about before I met them that day.
I wasn't looking.
We live in the 21st century.
It's true.
Things can get rearranged. And,
In the same
Your
day.
phone's on the cable.
I didn't. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't mean any that looked like men, but
They did. They looked like men.
No, I didn't meet anything.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying I don't know. They looked like men. So
Our chin hairs.
I mean, her mustache tickled my nose a little bit. But, I thought I was putting it in a pussy, but I mean,
it was it's an entirely new experience.
We only did it the one time. I mean, shit.
It was 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. If they did, good on them, I guess. I had a good time.
You ever had sex in the back of a car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it like that for like the first 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
What about you, Al? You ever had sex in a car?
First one was on a blow-up mattress. Second one was... Second time with that first person was in a car, and then we broke up.
Damn, you must have been bad at sex.
No, I text message breakup. It was not an honorable moment of mine.
Okay. It's not as bad as my first one. My first one was literally on a pallet of concrete.
Yes,
I've told this story
priest.
before. Yeah, he's not actually. I don't consider him a priest anymore. That was a Catholic priest. Now I revere satanic priests.
That's where you go if you want to get fucked at the altar.
That's another thing my boss is
they
really
actually
big on.
advertise it, truthfully.
My boss is really big on like.
Oh, he's like scared of hell and Satan, right?
Yeah, well, yes, of course, but like he's also like, the Satanic Church is like they preach all this like, do whatever you want and independence and whatever, but at the top they're doing actual like magic, like actual black magic that's like summoning the devil and demons.
They might be doing drugs that make them believe they're doing black magic,
yeah,
but no, they're not.
Yes. Yeah, he believes that they are at the very top. He believes that there was a time in Georgia and in the Vatican where 2 different priests did simultaneous black magic to summon Satan from the United States into the Vatican. And he looked exactly like Al.
What year was that?
They say that Satan is supposed to be incredibly, handsome and beautiful in person. I can see that.
He's got a soft voice.
He's got that part down. So,
King of Air.
Yeah.
Is that what is this?
Something like that. The light bringer.
Yeah. The morning star. All things that we've called Al before.
Al does have like an aura about him.
Me to.
If they wanted you to.
Yeah, I do it.
If they wanted you, who is they? That's the question. The Jews?
The Catholic Church.
Yeah, if the Jews wanted you to.
Wanted him
if they
to
want
invade
someone
the
to be the
Catholic
villain,
Church.
I will do it for them.
If they wanted me to, quote unquote, they.
Everyone knows the Jews have Satan on a leash and they sick him on Christians like a dog.
That would rule. That would be an awesome like comic book.
Honestly, here's the thing about like Satan and like deals with Satan and all that shit. If that shit worked, we'd be doing it all the fucking time.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
People would be constantly getting favors from Satan.
Of course. It only costs your soul.
Yeah, which you don't even have to divvy up until you die.
Yeah, and when you're 12 years old, you don't think about that shit. You basically consider yourself immortal.
Yeah, how many fucking idiots between the ages of fucking like 12 and 25 would be constantly making fucking deals with the devil? Like, we'd have magic people all over the fucking place.
I'd probably have to cut you off.
Like, just farting rockets out of their asses and like going around like, fucking milking their tits for Mountain Dew and shit. Like,
So when you had sex in the car, Al, when you were you also summoning Satan and asking for a favor? Okay.
Like all homosexual activities.
Hey, I was gonna say
he hails Satan the entire time.
Of course.
And he brings out a Bible and spits on it when he's done.
Like, the car was too small, my legs were hurting. So
he cursed God.
I was praying.
Yes. He's proselytizing.
I was wanting it to be over very soon.
Worst common places to have sex. We know cars up there.
Elevator's pretty bad.
Elevator is terrible. Jesus Christ.
I did elevator. I had sex in an elevator for 3 hours one time.
How?
Just because it was the middle of the night. The elevator was like one of those like that's on the outside of a building, and all it does is take you to the second floor. So like it was just like a handicap elevator. now I'm saying this out loud. It sounds a lot worse.
For 3 hours.
Yeah,
in the
I
handicap.
for 3 hours in an elevator.
Well, I'll censor that. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I
that's,
guess, but Al knows her, so that's the reason I'm saying.
Yeah.
We had sex in an elevator for 3 hours one time in the middle of the night at like 9 p.m. until like midnight.
So that's like got to be like multiple orgasms, right? That's not just
No,
one.
that wasn't even one.
No, the actual problem was that I was young enough to have the energy to continue to do it for that long. Because, you remember when you're like 15, like you could stay up until like 6 in the next morning and like nothing. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so, I don't know, desensitized, or maybe I was like high or something and I just couldn't get off. So we just kept having sex and doing more and more like depraved shit as the night went on because she was trying to get me to get off, which God bless her. Let's be honest.
Yeah, God bless her.
God bless her for doing such a thing. But
hey, sometimes that fucker it works just fine. It just won't fucking finish.
All I remember about that night, like the most important details, is that
God bless you.
We took the condoms and we put them in the air vents for the elevator because there was nowhere to put them. So there were like little silver grates that like had little cuts in them, and we just like rolled the condoms back up and just put them in there.
Stale cum
Why?
air.
What? Yeah,
it's gonna be filtering through that elevator forever. No one's gonna go in there.
Still there.
Yeah, no one's gonna go in there and fix that shit.
Exactly. I'm like, I want to go in there and then like look in there and be like, are those rolled up like old dusty condoms still in there?
You think the elevator's still there?
I know that elevator's still there. I've been there since.
Okay, so you've seen that the elevator's still there.
I haven't been in the elevator, but I have driven past that elevator. I know it's still there.
I see.
We'll take a podcast trip to the elevator. We should see if it still smells like my musk.
We should take more podcast trips.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been saying that this whole time. Al should take us to the hood. Al, please.
All right.
Okay.
We're there right now. I'm in my car right now.
All right, Patrick, add in the ambience.
Okay.
Yeah. What is the ambience of the hood, Al? What should I add?
Angels singing.
Angels singing. Gunshots.
The choir.
It's just perfect. Like Utopia, like flying cars, angels singing.
Everything's in chrome.
Yes. Okay. The Back to the Future sounds. The Jurassic Park plays as you enter into the hood.
An actual T-Rex walks by.
What are you looking up, Eric? What are you doing?
I just realized it was getting late, and I probably need to call my wife to make sure she wakes up for work.
Yeah, well, is the podcast over, Eric? You're the one staying next to the machine.
Well, we're at 58 minutes.
Okay, well, yeah, the podcast's over. Thank you for listening to AnythingCast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Eric.
I'm Al.
And he's going to go call his wife, and I'm going to go kill his wife.
We'll see who gets there first.
Oh, you. All right, press the fucking button so I can get running.